Hey guys, give me just a second. I gotta go around here and check something real quick, make sure that I've got it set up. But okay, not camera stuff. I got stones and water and things like that. So I'm getting a late start today. I have a lot of knives to sharpen. Putting on socks currently to limit the amount of exposed skin out here. I'm getting chewed up by these monster mosquitoes we've got this year. I don't remember this year and last year. We've got some horrible mosquitoes out here, and it could possibly be the fact that I have a bucket of water out here, but I change the buckets. My water bucket gets changed every day or so, so I can't see that being the issue. But so we're going to talk about a couple things. I had a couple people that apparently said that my video title yesterday was clickbait because they were upset that I had put in the video title that I got a Rask on loan, and they didn't get to see it. So I should tell you, the wait for these Rasks is insane. People are dying to get these things. So with that being said, I was going to carry it for a couple days, give you guys a good review. Flip side of this isn't my knife. And I don't 100% feel comfortable carrying it more than I did today. I got a good feel for it. I played with it a lot, and I played with it yesterday after I did the video. So I will tell you that while this knife is not for me, it's a pretty awesome knife. They did really do a good job. And this packaging, I don't know how well you guys are gonna be able to see it. The Grimsmo logo is in the top. It says Grimsmo Knives here. They send you a T9 Torx driver, cut out for the knife and pocket clip, and you get a thing of nano oil. And I'm not gonna lie, this stuff is like 20 bucks a tube. This will last you, if this is the only knife you use it on, probably the rest of your life. I've had this tube of, let me see, this is 10 weight, same one that I have. 10 weight, the bottle's just a little bit different. Mine is very old. I've had it for about a year and a half now. I still have a quarter of a tube, third of a tube of nano oil left. This should last you a while. Nano oil is awesome. I saw a video, not to get off topic, but I saw a video that was titled Nano Oil, ? Snake oil. Do not agree. Stuff's amazing. So this is a Grimsmo Rask. It's pretty well executed. I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of stuff about this knife that was incredibly well done. That is, you have to appreciate it from the sheer engineering standpoint. Meanwhile, those are also things that just are not for me about this knife. It's very light, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. The weight reduction that they did a very good job. And I mean, if you look inside, the milling on it is amazing and clean. I'm debating maybe taking this apart. I'll ask Pip Corona if he's cool with me taking it apart. There's a mosquito right there. That thing's huge. It looks like a housefly. This one's done in starburst pattern with the distressed DLC coating and the gold anodized hardware. And typical of these Grimsmo boys, they have done internal milling with writing on the inside and under the pocket clip. It says Grimsmo Knives underneath the pocket clip, right up there. And for a CNC blade, the blade finish on this is really good. It's sharp, but it's not as sharp as the Norseman's that I handled that were straight from the factory came. All in all, this is a really nice knife. It's an incredible knife. You have to look at it from the perspective of the the engineering that went into this. John Grimsmo has said numerous times that he's not a knife maker. He's a machinist that happens to make knives. Give me just a second. I'll get him. Get him with something. He's chewing me up. Now he's biting me on the back. So you get a lot of things in this that are just so finely done. Just like the Norseman. I mean, it just falls closed. There's zero friction. And I heard people say it with, I heard someone say it in one of my comments when I was saying how smooth the action is on the Grimsmo and it falls open. They're like, oh, well, when you have a knife that's got a lock bar cutout that's that thin and that little bit of detent. I'm not gonna lie. I can't pull that detent with my finger and I'm not squeezing the lock bar. Detent on this is a good bit more firm than the detent on the Norseman was, and still. So that tells me that the spring tension on this lock bar is significantly more than it was on the Norseman's. So there's there's not really any detent. There's a little bit of detent play, but you're gonna get that with a lot of knives. But when it goes, it fires. I have yet to have it not fire. This pivot screw, well, the pivot, the screw is over here. It's amazing. It's gorgeous. It looks like black onyx. You really can't see too many milling marks on it, and then it has the Grimsmo logo. Jimping. The jimping is, and I would imagine it has to do with the way they tumbled the blade to get rid of some of the milling marks. But the jimping on it is pretty smooth. But I mean, you really don't need it. So, this knife is an amazing knife. Now, what I'm going to say is, Pip Corona and I have talked about it, and he ordered this knife, and it's taken almost 1.5 years from the time he made his order and paid in full. So that's $800 that could have been gaining interest, could have been used for other things, where this knife has sat. And so now what it is he ordered something that he really wanted at the time, and now, just like a lot of things, his tastes have changed a little. And this isn't necessarily what he wants now. So, from what I understand, Mr. Pip Corona, and I will put that's his Instagram handle, is thinking really hard, and there's a good chance that this knife is going up for sale outright or up for a raffle. So that's what happens when it takes 1.5 years, 2 years to complete an order of 216. This is number 216. So it took 1.5 years to get number 216 out the door. I love the Grimsmo brothers. I love what they do. But I said it in a video before, to be able to sustain that business model, it's not going to continue. That bubble's going to pop. And I hate to see it happen. I would love to see them find some way to step up their production numbers. So that's the Grimsmo Rask. And like I said, if it was not for the fact that I just don't feel comfortable pocketing someone's $800 knife that they carried for like a day before they sent it to me, it would be in my pocket. Now, I am not going to sharpen this. The whole reason I'm not going to sharpen this is because it's going for sale, and I don't want there to be any issues with it. I think he's going to sell it as is. To those of you that are watching, it does not have a sharpening notch. It's one of the things that I do see with it. Like I said, all of the other things on this knife, they're not negatives. They're just things that aren't for me. I like a little bit more substantial knife. As a matter of fact, this Spyderco with the FRN handles is actually a little bit more, it's a little bit more weighty than this full titanium handled thing. So, you know, the weight reduction, that's a pretty cool feature, but I don't really think it was necessary. this is a pretty big knife, and I'm not feeling that much of a difference between the full titanium scales. Yeah, this thing's awesome. You guys are gonna get to see. I might do 2 videos today because I have to sharpen this and a bunch of other knives. I really need to get started, but I wanted to do this for you guys because you guys sounded really depressed I had not done, that I actually didn't show you the knife. There's just things that, you know, at what point does it go from being it has to be perfect to it's good enough the way it is to be done? Because I got news for you. If there reaches a point where it's never going to be perfect enough and you're never going to get anything done. I found myself with this when I would work on things with sharpening, and I had to reach a point where, you know, I could spend so much money on more sharpening supplies to go so much further in grit, but at some point you have to, you know, is there that much of a difference between 10,000 grit and 15,000 grit and 30,000 grit and 80,000 grit? There's not. So at some point you have to come to the realization that enough is enough, and you're never going to get it perfect. And I admire the striving that they have to be perfect, but in a business like this, when you're providing something, be perfect in your side hobbies. Get this to a level, which they already have, that is above and beyond what a lot of other companies do, and leave it that way. And don't continue to add complexities to it that keep slowing down your pipeline. So that's all I get to say on that. I do love the Grimsmo knives, and like I said, it's a little thin. It's actually thinner than the Norseman. I have gotten to where I prefer something a little thicker. That's why I like a lot of the Fire & Forge knives. This knife is as thick at the pocket clip as this knife is in full. So add the thickness of the pocket clip to the Rask, and you've basically got the thickness of a Fire & Forge Master Blaster. So, but as far as negatives, there aren't any. This has that starburst pattern he mills in them. It's pretty gorgeous. I will, this time I promise I'm gonna do it. As soon as I get done with this, I swear I'm going to take some pictures and I will throw them in at the end. So you have to stick around to the end. And as a matter of fact, I'll put them at the beginning so you don't have to. No, you're gonna have to stick around to the end. The only aesthetic thing that I can see on it that I really don't like is the lock bar. The lock bar is pretty sterile, and it looks like a popsicle stick. Aesthetically, that's the only issue I have with it. So now comes something that you're very rarely going to hear me say. This is a Benchmade Anthem. Now, it's not a flipper. .20 CV, titanium. It does, however, have that ridiculous axis lock that I don't like. But it does have some features that this one doesn't. So there's some options out there for some of you. I don't like Benchmade in general, but of all the Benchmades I've had, I sharpen Pip Coronas. I have to admit, of all the Benchmades I've had in my hand, this is one of the better ones. Is it $450 worth of good? No, absolutely not. It's not a $400 knife. But is it pretty good Benchmade? Yeah, it's a really good Benchmade. Not worth the price they're charging. It really is. But this goes back to what I'm saying. If you take 2 years and design something and push it out the door, somebody's gonna come up and have something out quicker that pretty much matches what you're doing. So, there's my little rant. I hope John Grimsmo is able to get his head wrapped around this. And then I had other people like, well, no, I hope he doesn't get his supply to meet the demand. Then this and that. And I was like, so you want the man to go out of business. And people don't think about the things that they say when they think about that. I would like the Grimsmo brothers to find a way to make double the units that they make right now and make double the money and get double the knives out the door and keep them at pretty much the same level of quality. So there has to be a happy medium in there somewhere that they can find that will get them where they need to go. So that's enough of a rant from me, guys. I'm gonna do a video about this Anthem, probably, and I gotta do a video about this Fire and Forge Archbishop, or not Archbishop, this Fire and Forge Master Blaster. It's pretty freaking awesome. But first, I will take some picture of this and I put them in, I promise. I had someone suggest that my vlogs be done on a playlist, listed as vlogs. I'm not sure how to do that. I've got a year's worth, almost 250 videos, 800 subscribers, and I don't know how to set my shit up as a playlist. So apparently I'm a dummy. Could be because I do everything from my phone. So yeah, I'm gonna look at that. So maybe that you guys that only want to watch the knife stuff and the sharpening stuff can only tune in for that. I do know, I still apologize. Tom, your knife. Pip, your knife. My friend Michelle, your knife. I have to tell you, and you'll get texts, the guy that was making my sheaths has basically told me that he can't do it for me anymore. I do understand. I mean, I'm kind of upset. He was doing a really good job. He basically is not going to be able to do it for me anymore. He's got other stuff going on in his life. He has a full-time job. He also likes to go tuna fishing and things like that. So I do understand that he's not going to be able to provide those for me. It's kind of sad because he did a really good job. He was local and I could just drop stuff off. And he was kind of flaky from time to time. He's a good guy and I could deal with that. So now I have a guy in Florida that says he can do them for me, but the earliest I can get knives to him, let me straighten this out just a little bit. Earliest I can get any knives to him is August 1st. So I can't even send knives to him to get them done. So what I'm gonna do is, I told him that I'm gonna send him the knives. I'm gonna send him all 3 of the big fixed blades. I'm gonna send him several of the neck knives, but I'm also gonna send him the prototype with its sheath so that he can replicate what my friend Chemo had already done. Because the design that Chemo came up with for those neck knives it works. It really does. We had a hard time figuring out a sheath that would allow you to draw a chisel ground neck knife, Kiridashi style neck knife, from a Kydex sheath without it grinding and catching and things like that. He really did a good job of it. So yeah, that's that. I'm gonna text you said individuals and let you know. Tom, I apologize again, but like I said, I really didn't want you to pay me the entire price up front for that knife. The flip side of that is, for a couple of you guys that I had already quoted a price, that price is going to stay set, but depending on the price of this, the price of those knives are probably going to have to go up a little bit because I have to send the knives all the way to Florida to get done. That's going to cost me $7, however much he's charging me for that. And I had those knives pretty much at the point where, with the amount of time I was putting in them and everything, that there wasn't a lot of actual profit when you look at the work that went into it. So additional cost is going to have to be translated to an additional cost in the sheaths, in the knife itself, to offset that. And I'm not saying I'm going to make you guys, if it's a $40 sheath, I'm going to tell the guy, screw it, I'm not doing it. I can't afford that, and I don't want you guys to pay that. So we'll get something figured out. I'll get some sheath stuff figured out. If this doesn't work, we'll get something figured out, and I will make sure that the knives go out. But the knives are done. They just need sheaths. So it is manufacturing in the United States. So, all right, guys. You guys take it easy. You guys are great. Talk to you later, and share my videos. That's what I was going to say. Oh, so we've gotten to the point. I'm not going to do the quote e-begging today. Maybe later. But we've gotten to a point where a lot of my videos are found by accident. So if you guys know someone that you think would enjoy my videos, share them. Just share it with somebody. Hey, check this guy out. He's an idiot. Because I am. And, we'll just, maybe we'll expand the channel's viewership by sharing them and getting more subscribers that way. And once we get a subscribership built, I think it only makes it better, because then we get better comments as opposed to just some of the I don't ever get bad comments from my actual subscribers. I get the bad, screwed up comments from people that are just coming in and doing stuff. So if we can get a good base of subscribers, I think that the actual discussion on the videos, it would benefit from having a broader subscriber base. So, all right, guys, that's it. You guys all take it easy. I've got a couple knives to sharpen. I've got a bunch of knives to sharpen, and I will see you next time.